This is Trend Following Radio, where great thinking comes alive. Nobel Prize winners, legendary traders, best-selling authors, and the pros that know what drive us irrational human beings. I am your host, Michael Covel. Not filtered, raw, honest. That's my passion.
All the headlines. Let's talk about inflation. Let's blame inflation on Biden. I mean, he's the current president, so he must be responsible for inflation. He very well could be responsible for inflation increasing. But guess what? They started handing out the free money under Trump. They started jerry-rigging the stock market under Obama. All this crap's been going on since the Great Recession, 08, 09. Everybody took the money. They took the money in the form of stocks going up, real estate going up. Once the, quote, pandemic hit in 2020, they took the money again. Here's your free checks. Sit at home and hide from the germ. Now here we are in 2022, and everyone's panicking about inflation, blaming everyone for inflation. Give me a break. Look in the fucking mirror. Look in the fucking mirror. You're responsible. You took the goodies. I mean, everyone knows how the dot-com crisis unfolded and then imploded. Everyone knows how the 2008-2009 crisis unfolded, then imploded. Do you think we never have another 50% drawdown again in stocks? Another 75% is not possible? You can't imagine it? Can you imagine being fucking broke? Broke, which was the title of my documentary film. A perfect timing to name it Broke right at the point in time the Federal Reserve decided, March of 09, to goose everything. Hey, it lasted. It lasted a long time. But where are you today if your stocks decrease 50%, 60%, 70%, maybe even 80%? What year have you retraced to? That's not possible? What, have you done no historical lessons in your life? Anything in the stock market is possible. And anything does happen. That anything actually happens quite a lot. So that's the lay of the landscape. Shit has hit the fan. But I've got an uplifting message in the middle of all that. In the middle of all of that insanity that I just riffed off, there's something happy. There's something positive. There's something very nice in this climate. Because there is a technique. There's a strategy. There's a way of living, a way of thinking, a way of acting that can help you to survive all of that. Spread out now almost over 2 decades. Multiple different presidents, Republican and Democrat, they're all the fucking same. And here we are now. What's the positive message? Trend following. Trend following. How else can you participate in markets that unexpectedly move up or down for long periods of time, sometimes short periods of time, sometimes you get stopped out? But how else can you participate in these environments that are not connected? There's no rules. Who the hell knows what's going to happen next? But you have to be ready to take action. I've talked about this trader on this podcast before. He's featured in my little book of trading. We've spoken several times over the years. I'm sure one day I'll twist his arm to come on this podcast. He has said he will, but I kind of respect the fact that he's just his own guy who sits outside of the system, who doesn't really care. He's got enough investors who believe in him. This would be Paul Mulvaney of Mulvaney Capital. And Paul runs a systematic, long-term trend following program. 22-year track record, not correlated to stocks. Exposure to commodities. which means he trades everything. He's agnostic. He doesn't care what the name of the market is. So all of these climates that I've been describing, these assorted booms and busts, this current inflationary cycle, all these multiple presidents, Paul's strategy, an unwavering strategy, has worked across all of these environments. That's pretty damn cool. Now, of course, he's not alone. Anyone who reads my books, who listens to this podcast, knows he's not alone. But he's a great tentpole, someone that you can look to and say, is he sticking to his knitting? Is he doing what he's supposed to be doing? A lot of people have said over the years, trend following has died, or I must change trend following. You don't look to Paul Mulvaney if you think like that. You look to Paul Mulvaney because you say, did he stick to his knitting? Does he believe in what he does? Has he been there for the long term? And can we learn something from him? 100%. If you can't learn something from Paul Mulvaney's track record, I'm talking the month-by-month track record. If you've never done this exercise, do it now. Find a track record like Paul Mulvaney's. 22 years is great. That's a lot of months, 12 months per year. Go look at every month. Every month. Look at his performance. If you can't learn something from that, you are mentally challenged, probably lower IQ, and probably not cut out for this. Because for the average intelligence, the average mind, if you look at Paul Mulvaney's track record and you don't see blinking red lights up in the sky, aha moments, light bulbs popping off in your mind, if you don't see that, this isn't for you. Do something simpler. Go dig holes or something. I'm not knocking on people that dig holes. Someone has to dig the damn holes, and I've dug my share of holes in my life. But I don't want to dig holes now. So you take a look at that 22-year track record every month. If you can't learn something, stop. Now, on the flip side, for those of you that have not done this exercise, for those of you that have some decent intelligence, you're going to look at that 22-year track record every month, and you're going to stop. And you're going to realize that every last talking head, every last fucking one of them, on CNBC, on Bloomberg, on all the finance channels, the people that are there every day to feed you are full of it, have no clue. Because the reality is a track record. The reality is an audited track record. That is the reality. You can see it every damn month. Does that mean every month is going to be up? No. Does that mean every month is going to be down? No. Is there variability? Absolutely. Why is there variability? Have you seen the markets? Do you know what trend following does? Trend following adapts to what the markets give you. It doesn't pretend to push the markets in some direction to dictate some amount of profit. Trend following takes what the markets give. So here we are. I open this up with inflation. I start praising Paul Mulvaney. There's many other traders I could praise. Let's get into some nitty gritty. I'm talking about track records, right? I'm looking at Paul Mulvaney's track record. Now, this is only the first 3 months of 2022. He could end up having a losing year. Who knows? Markets could start to churn. We have no idea, and Paul has no idea. But at this moment in time, his performance correlates exactly to all of the inflation talk. Is that a surprise? Inflation talk means markets are moving. If markets are moving, guess who's making money? Trend following traders. Paul Mulvaney, trend following trader. He's making money. First 3 months of 2022, he's up 48.51%. Almost 50% first 3 months of the year. He's up 14.71% in January. He's up 6.49% in February. He's up 21.57% in March. Where is the bulk of that return coming from? Interest rates, energies, grains, currencies, softs. Where have the losses come from? Because this is an aggregate number, so it's all blended together. The losses have come from stocks. more of an up and down churning period, whereas the other markets at this point in time have been trending. A classic long-term trend-following trader, and I say long-term. If you know something about Paul, it is a long-term view. The classic long-term trend-following trader is going to kill it during inflationary times. Have you thought about what great timing Larry Hite and Rich Dennis and Bill Dunn and John Henry and Ed Seykota had? They were 1970s trend-following traders. That's when they cut their teeth. What happened in the 70s? A hell of a lot of inflation. A hell of a lot of big moves. That's the name of the game. You can't predict when it's all going to happen, but you can look over time. Now, I've given you the exercise today to go look at Paul Mulvaney's track record right now, his 22-year track record. But there's a lot more, a hell of a lot more. And I'm telling you, you dive into that and you go down that path, go down that process, you're going to have an interesting and nice life. But let's face it, if you're one of these people that wants to bitch about, and look, I'm guilty of it like everybody, but if you're one of these people that you want to bitch about the politicians, you want to bitch about the Federal Reserve, it's not going to help you. They're going to do whatever the hell they want to do. But even if they do what they want to do, and right now they wanted to create inflation, that's what they wanted to do, and the people supported them. But even if they do whatever they want to do, trend following adapts. Trend following says, whatever the hell's happening, we're going that way. And if it stops going that way and goes the other way, and it's a whipsaw market and we get stopped out, so be it. But this is a great way to think. It's actually a peaceful way to think, very Zen in a way. Zen in the sense that control what you can control. Don't try to control what you can't control. Sounds simple, and trend following is simple. But human nature is a beast. Because everyone wants to get rich overnight. Everyone wants to get rich quick. Nobody wants to have a plan. Everyone's competing with their neighbors. And in the middle of all that, none of these people really win. Is it hard to imagine that since March of 2009, we could see a retracement and lose 50 or 60 or 70% of equity gains? Is that hard to imagine? It shouldn't be. We've seen it before. I mean, when the Federal Reserve gives out free money, which in turn gives you free stock money, free house money. I mean, come on, this doesn't work forever. The shit hits the fan at some stage of the game. When the shit hits the fan, that's when I come on here and I read a great performance track record like Paul Mulvaney's. It's a teaching moment. You walk away and you say, damn it, I didn't understand that. I didn't see that. Do you realize what I'm telling you? I'm telling you that every business school, financial school, whatever, all of these degrees, all of these textbooks, none of it matters. What matters is Paul Mulvaney's track record and all the other trend following track records. That's what's important. The other stuff is a dog and pony show to keep your mind occupied, to keep you sitting there like a slave thinking the next election's going to solve your life. You're a freaking fool if you believe that. I'm a little worked up today, huh? I did not even expect that. There's not exactly a script here, you know what I mean? I look at that track record and I get excited because a lot of my career has been not only making money in this world, but sharing with other people. And I can tell you right now, and I don't say this in a cocky way, more people around this world would have a better life, a better financial life if they listened to just this episode. And I am not being cocky again. It's not about me. It's about the information. It's not even about Paul Mulvaney. He's simply going with the flow that he's always gone with. Trend following came before Paul. He's just been a master at it. These are exciting times. Again, I'm all worked up, but I want people to see this. Because if you really can grasp the larger messages that I'm saying right now, and you can put aside and turn off all of the other bullshit, life will be sweet. Now, it might be a little volatile sometimes. So what? We can't stop that. But at least with trend following, you have a system that says, I will buy here. I will sell here with a loss. I will sell here with a gain. Here's how much I'm going to bet on each trade. And here are all the markets that I'm going to follow. Again, it sounds simple, but it's not simple. Because if it was so damn simple, this would be the message that you would see every day on CNBC. You don't see this message every day on CNBC or Bloomberg or Yahoo Finance or whatever. I've shared this story before in this podcast. Years ago, I was asked to come to CNBC. Turns out it was something like a opportunity for me to pitch a show. And I'm telling you what, that whole place felt like the Truman Show. I mean, all these people sitting around like it looks like a trading floor. Looks like a big Wall Street trading floor. Just a bunch of reporters typing up bullshit, making up stuff, right? Because there's no there there. They just make it up. Or somebody tells them something and they, quote, report it. I mean, come on. Anyone that thinks there's such a thing as good journalism, good reporting after the last 5 or 6 years, you're crazy. But I was taken into a room and I sat down with 3 ladies who were the brain trust at the time for deciding on new shows. One lady sat in front of me. 2 ladies sat to either side of me. I was triangulated. Now, these were, if you've ever seen the Seinfeld show, these were the typical NBC executives. No joke. I had a chance to actually experience what Seinfeld makes fun of with the NBC executives. And behind the main lady who was sitting in front of me was a huge poster of Kramer. And I, in my infinite wisdom, I was a little younger. But I was like, I don't want to make any shows like this. No stock picks. I'm saying the same thing I'm saying right now, right? And they just looked at me like I was crazy. Because they wanted one thing. They wanted some asshole to come on their show and tell the world that they knew what was going to happen tomorrow. These weren't finance people. These weren't trading people. These weren't investing people. These were fucking entertainment people. And they wanted me to pitch them on a fucking entertainment show. I'm really saying fucking a lot today. I'm not such a clean mouth today. I don't know why. Sometimes I turn this microphone on and it goes back to my old baseball catcher days and I can't help myself. But that was it. So contrast that. Contrast my CNBC, NBC executives experience to Paul Mulvaney. I don't think Paul's ever been on CNBC. If he has, he was probably so dry and so boring, just the facts, ma'am, they probably never had him back on. Now, he should be on every day. So should all these trend-following traders. But that would not be entertaining. Because if nothing's happening, what do you say as a trend-following trader? There's nothing to say. But CNBC and Bloomberg are designed to keep you watching. And the people on those shows have to say something smart or something that appears to be smart every damn day. If they don't get the advertising dollars from Pfizer and Moderna, and you don't get your 17th vax. That's the way the world works. Do you want that? Well, you can have that. Or you can have the way that I've been describing with Paul Mulvaney. It's a choice. Now, which one are you going to make? Time is ticking.
I see a time when those awake will understand how to make money in up, down, and surprise markets. Whether new trader or experienced, college student or financial advisor, protecting against a crash or just trying to make a lot of money, trend following offers everyone an answer in uncertain times. To get started immediately, send me an email, michael@covel.com. I will send you the right trend following steps to take along with my free video. But if you want to buy and hold, trust the government and trust Wall Street, this is absolutely not for you.